So, this is a Thor power scaling video. Now, I'm not going to call it the official, definitive power scaling video for Thor, but just a video that I'm going to make on Thor. This is specifically going to be talking about power scaling Thor and his different versions. Now, at the beginning of this list, we have classic/base Thor from his first initial appearance in Marvel Comics all the way until Thor Volume 2. Thor Volume 2, the Heroes Reborn era, starts the modern age of Thor. Now, this is important because things are changing. Like Odin, classic Odin, was universal, even multiversal levels of power that he was achieving. While if you look at interviews of Dan Jurgens, modern Odin is a lot weaker. And this is going to be important for later, the difference in power scaling between classic and modern. But after classic base Thor, we have Thor, Lord of Asgard, aka Odinforce 1 Thor. Then there is the Rune King Thor. We're going in semi-chronological order here. Now, Rune King Thor is important because he has rune magic, along with completing these steps that Odin did to get wisdom. Instead of sacrificing one eye, he sacrificed both, getting twice as much power as Odin. But like I stated earlier, Odin isn't as strong. This modern Thor and Odin, they're not as strong as their classic versions. So there's a difference in power. But Rune King Thor is still very strong, as he was the one who was able to defeat those who sit above in the shadows, beings that are considered to be a god to gods. So these characters will be in multiversal tiers. So they've been able to manipulate I believe is the Tree of Yggdrasil and the Asgardian rebirth cycle. So Rune King Thor is powerful. But I wouldn't say he is the levels that you see on websites, like being able to fight Cosmic Armor Superman, which is actually two Superman merged by the Dr. Manhattan Superman and placed inside of a monitor robot, or beyond, or anything like that. I would consider him maybe like Infinity Gauntlet levels, able to defeat Universal plus Abstracts, somewhere around that range. Anyways, after that, Thor comes back. This is Thor Volume 3, Straczynski Coapel Thor. Guess I'm going to call this one Odinforce 1 or Odinforce 1.5. This is, if you think about it, this is a strong Thor. This Thor was able to one-tap Sentry in their first fight, the Yellow Sentry, in Siege. This Thor was able to kill Bor by sacrificing his hammer Mjolnir. That's a good feat. Now, the Odinforce exists within Thor when Odin is no longer alive. During Fear itself, Odin is back, and Thor is able to fight both Angry Thing and Null Hawk, killing Angry Thing and knocking Null Hawk into orbit. This is a very strong Thor. I don't know if people understand. And then, when Odin gave him the Odin sword, he was able to defeat a Sky Father level being, but that Thor is pretty strong. Now in regards to how strong he one-taps the Sentry, which we said, and then when the Sentry transformed into the Void at this point was becoming a team buster. He was fighting all the Avengers, which includes Thor, some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and then even once the Avengers were amped by the Norn Stones, eventually killed Loki, his second god in the comic, after Ares, and, was basically, running amok until S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier was turned into a bullet, causing him to be depowered. And at this point, Bob was able to gain more control, asking Thor to kill him, and he obliged. But you have to think, this is still a strong feat for able to, at this time, cause Sentry's first death. This is still strong, and this is Odinforce Thor. Now, later we're going to get some more Thors, because now the Fear Itself event is post Odinforce, so he didn't have it at the time. But after that, we're going to get Jason's Aaron's Thor, which the power levels kind of fluctuate. And then we have the unworthy Thor, which is the weakest Thor of all. Unworthy Thor is probably weaker than Frog Thor. A frog. Unworthy Thor is pretty weak. And then when Thor has the golden arm, he's also pretty weak too. Like his hammers are weak and he's getting like one tapped by Devil Hawk. He's pretty trash. Pretty trash. Later, the writer Donny Cates takes over Thor, and we get a new version. His arm comes back, and he is now the Cosmic King Thor, or the Cosmic Herald Thor. At this point, I do believe Odin is alive, so I don't think he has the Odinforce, but he does have the power Cosmic, and he's able to do some pretty good feats like defeating Galactus, using that power to defeat the Black Winter, breaking Null's jaw. Pretty formidable Thor. Then he loses the power of Cosmic and gets the Odinforce again, and we're told that this is the totality of the Odinforce. Odinforce 2 Thor, or All-Father Thor, or Golden Thor, or whatever the heck you want to call him. But this is Thor with all the Odinforce. So this is this modern Odinforce level, classic Odinforce level. I guess since they're saying it's all, we can assume it's classic Odinforce level. And then after this, we are getting the Immortal Thor, which is just power stacking, base form, Odinforce, Thor Force, Rune Magic, strong, very strong magical weapons. Thor is becoming more formidable. But yeah,